Last week, government officials and 5 major banks reached a settlement over the bank's deceptive foreclosure practices. It's a $25 billion settlement with about $1.5 billion coming to San Diego County. Joining me to talk about what that means to homeowners here are Vino Paonor, President and Executive Director of Housing Opportunities Collaborative, and Matt Battiato, CEO of the Battiato Real Estate Group. In the interest of full disclosure, the Battiato Group has been an underwriter of KPBS. Thank you both for being here. I want to begin with you, Matt. First of all, how will this money be divided with regard to reduction of principal and also as compensation for those who were foreclosed on?
Right. Well, there's up to $20,000 for principal write-downs for about 1 million homeowners. Now, that's on a national level. So there's about, if you're upside down in your home, you could qualify to get a $20,000 principal write-down. The other thing is if you've already gone through foreclosure, the bank will compensate you. I think it's up to $2,000 if you were illegally foreclosed on. And then the rest of this money is really going to be used for debt write-offs in short sales. That's where we expect really most of that $25 billion to go, write-offs from the banks when they do short sales. Now,
let's go back to the $20,000 principal reduction. We know what house prices are like here in San Diego. That doesn't seem like a whole lot.
No, the average homeowner on a national basis, just keep in mind who's upside down, is upside down by about $60,000. Here in San Diego, that number is much, much higher. It's probably at least $100,000. So a $20,000 principal reduction, while it's nice, is not going to make anybody stay in a home that they wouldn't have stayed in. So it's kind of a drop in the bucket.
Vino, do we know who's going to be eligible for these programs?
As far as those homeowners who have been illegally foreclosed on, we kind of have the numbers. It's between January 1st, 2008 to December 31st, 2011. But those who benefit out of a refinance or a short sale, as that Matt had mentioned, we don't have the nitty-gritty eligibility requirements. The banks have been tasked to come up with that, but it's going to be a while before these banks start coming up with these processes and also implementing them. So as far as we know, some of the requirements are public knowledge. Right now, it's you have to have an interest rate that is over 5.25, over and above 5.25 to be eligible for refinance under the program. You should have, in order to get some benefits out of some of these write-downs, you should have had certain issues in the past, or you should have been having a delinquency payment in the past. So there's a lot of requirements that are there, but we do not know the exact details about it. It's still being worked out as we speak.
Matt, you mentioned in terms of that short sale. So in other words, you're underwater and the bank lets you sell your house for less than
whatever
what you owe.
Market value is correct.
So who benefits from this settlement in terms of absorbing that loss? Is it the bank or the homeowner?
The banks are going to absorb that loss, and they're going to use, that's the whole idea, is this settlement is the part of a lot of this $25 billion is going to go towards write-offs. Now, these are write-offs that the banks would probably be doing anyway.
So it goes back to the bank?
Correct.
Write-offs?
Yeah, the banks are writing off the money. Now, in a lot of cases, the bank is just the servicer. There's investors that own this money. So in most cases, when you have your lender you send a payment into, that is the servicer. It's not their money. They're not the investor. There's an investor behind them from the stock market, for example, that actually owns that loan that you really owe the money to. In a short sale, the bank is, the investor is writing off the deficiency. And so that's a short sale.
Vino, have you been getting a lot of calls already at your office?
Yes, we have been, and we've been getting calls regarding, well, am I eligible? Where can I find details about whether I'm eligible or not? I think I have been foreclosed on illegally. Where do I file a complaint? So we have been advising these homeowners or those callers to take the time off on a Saturday to come to our home clinics, where we have HUD-approved housing counseling agencies, housing counselors, who can do an assessment for free because they are not supposed to be charging a homeowner. It's all free. We have pro bono attorneys from the San Diego County Bar and other minority bars here and the State Bar who are licensed in the State Bar, who can see whether you have an option to file a complaint with the AG's office. The AG wants to take these complaints from these homeowners so that they can make an assessment whether these particular homeowners who have been foreclosed on between those eligible periods have a claim against these banks.
Before we go, Matt, quickly, in your view, is this going to help stabilize the housing market here in San Diego?
No, absolutely. I don't think it's going to have any impact on the market in San Diego because here in San Diego County, we've got between 35 and 50% of the homes are upside down. and you've got a huge number of people that are in a home that are homes they're upside down on and they can't afford. They've all got to get out of these homes. There's a huge number of people here in San Diego that owe at the peak levels from, say, 2004 or 2005. And until the market bottoms out and then comes all the way back up to those peak prices, which is going to take quite a while, until these people get out of all these homes that they can't afford, the market really can't stabilize. You know, this $25 billion settlement, again, while it sounds like a lot of money, is not going to have a real huge impact because it's going to continue to, the banks are going to continue to do lots of short sales. They're going to, that's their alternative to foreclosure. I don't expect to see them doing anything significant in the way of modifications because they don't have any interest in doing that.
Matt Battietta, Vino Pajanor, thank you so much both for being here.
Thank you.